The man smiled brightly, more radiant than a flower. Dressed elegantly in a suit, he was delivering a speech in front of thousands about the company's new business strategy. Just invest all your money into my company, he proclaimed. And in 1 month, the profits will be so high that even your grandchildren won't be able to spend it all. Smiling and speaking confidently on stage, he seemed genuine. But once he stepped outside, his true nature was revealed. This man was none other than President Jin, head of a multi-level marketing empire that spanned the entire city of Seoul, South Korea. He was a fraudster who lured gullible people into investing in fake projects, due to the unchecked activities of people who wanted quick riches without working for it. The Financial Crime Investigation Unit sent an undercover agent to bring him and his accomplices to justice and ensure they serve long prison sentences. How will this agent's journey to take down such a cunning mastermind unfold? Stay tuned to watch the entire movie. In South Korea, during the early 2000s, multi-level marketing companies mushroomed everywhere. A man named President Jin led a company called One Network. Through his persuasive speeches and clever schemes, countless naive individuals fell victim to his traps. President Jin's right-hand man was the marketing director, Kingpin, who was responsible for collecting money and transferring it to various bank accounts. Alongside him was Park Jang-gun, a hacker who managed the system. Together, they were the trusted pillars of the massive scam network. To maintain this large-scale fraud operation, President Jin spent huge sums of money to build connections with central government leaders. However, as the saying goes, if you don't work, you don't eat, the only meal you'll get is prison food. President Jin was unaware that the police had secretly sent a man nicknamed the nemesis of multi-level marketing, BigBang, to investigate and dismantle the entire operation. To expose President Jin's scam, BigBang acted quickly after one of Jin's persuasive speeches. Taking advantage of the moment when Park Jang-gun went to the parking garage, BigBang ordered his team to bring the hacker in for questioning. The hacker, terrified by the mere threat of imprisonment, became visibly shaken. Before being interrogated, Park Jang-gun managed to call Kim Mi-young, warning him, "If I don't return in an hour, stick to the plan as usual. If there is an urgent situation, the company will immediately activate defense mode. All files and documents, along with hard drives, will be destroyed instantly." To trap Park Jang-gun, BigBang threatened him, claiming to have enough evidence to send him to prison. However, if he cooperated and obtained President Jin's ledger, he could easily get a suspended sentence. Reluctantly, Park Jang-gun agreed without hesitation. Even though he had faced life and death situations for years, President Jin always prioritized caution. He ordered an investigation into Park Jang-gun's activities and the reasons that led the company to issue the defense order. But Park Jang-gun, a seasoned player, knew how to handle the situation. To avoid police surveillance, he deliberately changed clothes, used the moment a bus passed by to hide behind it, and easily evaded the officers. Park Jang-gun then went to an abandoned house. It turned out he had secretly colluded with his friend to transfer money behind President Jin's back. All they needed was to get the ledger and infiltrate President Jin's accounts. With this, the two of them could pocket $50 million and disappear without a trace. However, BigBang's team had already uncovered all of Park Jang-gun's plans. President Jin was not their only target. BigBang's ultimate goal was to take down all the leaders of the operation. And the ledger was the most critical item at this moment. What will BigBang's next move be? Stay tuned to find out. To merge the company with legitimate regulations, President Jin bribed the Minister of Finance. His multi-level marketing operation kept expanding rapidly, with money flowing in like the East Sea's waves. Park Jang-gun, on the other hand, had his own hidden agenda. Taking advantage of the moment when Park Jang-gun was parking on the side of the road, BigBang's team towed his car away and lured him into an alley, eventually taking him to the station for questioning. Inside the car, BigBang handed Park Jang-gun a pen and a listening device, explaining the plan to make President Jin use the ledger. Park Jang-gun's mission was to find a way to steal it. Meanwhile, the multi-level marketing tycoon began giving a speech to his prey. He introduced a new project, a luxury villa complex, where anyone who deposited more money would immediately receive a premium apartment. However, while presenting, President Jin received news that the Minister of Finance had been caught by the police. He immediately rushed back. As planned by BigBang, Park Jang-gun pretended his car had broken down and asked for a ride. Naturally, BigBang's team was aware of everything through the listening device. Inside the car, President Jin had started suspecting his subordinates. Instead of heading back to the headquarters, he took Park Jang-gun to his private residence, leading him down into a hidden basement. Indeed, with a lot of money, one can do anything. He had created a secret space for himself containing numerous phones and records of all his transactions. Every time he used money to evade the law, President Jin would document it in a notebook. All of this was witnessed by BigBang's team through a hidden camera cleverly disguised as a pen on Park Jang-gun's chest. President Jin began hinting that there was a mole within the company. Naturally, in an attempt to gain favor, Park Jang-gun volunteered to identify the traitor. To eliminate any obstacles in his path, President Jin immediately hired an assassin to take out the finance minister. Feeling unsafe after hearing the news, Park Jang-gun deliberately visited President Jin's residence and confessed that he was the mole. However, He was unaware that President Jin already knew everything. Park Jang-geun narrowly escaped being put in a coffin. A plan was devised where Park Jang-geun would mislead the police with a fake ledger, making it easier for President Jin to escape abroad. But while he wasn't paying attention, Park Jang-geun swapped the fake ledger with the original one, effectively killing two birds with one stone, deceiving his boss while fulfilling the police's demands. However, life isn't as simple as it seems. President Jin, ever the cunning strategist, had foreseen every step. He had placed an assassin in Park Jang-geun's car. At this point, BigBang's team had also arrived on the scene. As BigBang slowly approached the car, he discovered Park Jang-geun unconscious inside. Immediately, the assassin attempted a sneak attack. The two began a fierce hand-to-hand fight in the underground tunnel. BigBang delivered a flurry of punches without missing. But the assassin was no amateur. Although BigBang gained the upper hand, while trying to pull the assassin away from being hit by a car, he was counterattacked and pushed to the other side of the road. The assassin swiftly jumped into the car and sped away. Despite BigBang's efforts to chase after the vehicle and hold onto its door, he was struck by a well-placed elbow, sending him tumbling to the ground. Both Park Jang-geun and the original ledger were taken away. But this was just the beginning. It was all bait to divert the police's attention. Meanwhile, President Jin and his accomplices had made their escape. Realizing this, BigBang rushed to intervene. But he was already one step too late. The plan he had painstakingly prepared for months was now in ruins. Upon hearing that President Jin's car had been located, BigBang immediately raced to the scene. However, the vehicle was completely empty. When he opened the trunk, he found Park Jang-geun covered in blood. Time flew by, and Park Jang-geun was rushed to the hospital in time, narrowly escaping death. However, he spent his days eating instant noodles, constantly hounded by creditors demanding repayment. Attending a multi-level marketing lecture, they were discovered by the locals and harshly scolded and insulted. BigBang wasn't doing much better either. Despite being demoted to assistant investigator, he didn't abandon the case. During an argument between the two, one said, "It's because of you that I've ended up like this, a petty thief," while the other retorted, "It's because you had your own agenda that the plan was exposed." Suddenly, the TV broadcasted news that President Jin and Kim Mi-young had died in a fire in Vietnam. However, this didn't fool BigBang. He brought Park Jang-geun to his office, revealing that during this time, he had been tracking President Jin, who had traveled across Southeast Asia faking deaths and continuing his fraudulent schemes. The latest scam was unfolding in the city of Cutiba, Philippines. President Jin's cunning mind identified a lucrative opportunity, the Philippine government's plan to renovate the city. Of course, this was a golden chance for him to exploit. To deceive his partners, President Jin pretended to be tirelessly involved in charity work, using this as leverage to propose that the government fund $3 billion while his corporation would also contribute the same amount to jointly rebuild the city. However, the high-ranking officials were no pushovers. The government demanded that President Jin provide $3 billion within a month to advance the project. With no way to print money fast enough to stack that amount in such a short time, he had no choice but to agree under pressure. Naturally, the agreement was signed. Meanwhile, to facilitate their investigation, BigBang and his team seized control of President Jin's base and utilized all available manpower. Even Park Jang-geun's tech-savvy friend was summoned to assist. After analyzing all the accounts President Jin used to transfer money overseas, they identified a subordinate who acted as a broker for him, managing money transactions for various accounts abroad. To track the operations details, BigBang devised a plan, instructing his assistant to employ a honey trap strategy to approach the underling. After an exchange of flirtatious glances, he fell for it like a fly to honey. The subordinate claimed to own a flower shop and gifted him a potted plant, which, of course, was already bugged with a listening device. President Jin currently had $2 billion and urgently needed the underling to secure the remaining $1 billion. If successful, his global-scale scam would achieve perfect results. To convince President Jin of her lowly status in society, Park Jang-geun deliberately approached the underling, tearfully begging for a side job to pay off her debts. Naturally, President Jin overheard it all. But as a schemer himself, he was always wary of anyone who might turn against him. This included even his closest confidant, Kim Mi-young, who lived in constant fear of being eliminated by President Jin. Secretly, she began planning her escape route. Knowing that President Jin needed someone to launder money, BigBang disguised himself as Pedo Kim, a notorious underworld figure known as the Washing Machine, who specialized in turning dirty money into clean cash. Together with his assistant, BigBang easily approached the underling, and the bait was taken. The underling informed his boss that he had found someone capable of laundering money. The underling tasked BigBang with laundering $1 billion within 3 weeks, promising a commission upon completion. Without hesitation, BigBang accepted the task. Although he knew President Jin was hiding in the Philippines, BigBang had yet to act. His plan was to recover all the stolen money and return it to the victims President Jin had mercilessly deceived. First, BigBang sought out Shin, dubbed the Queen of Currency in the underground world, who had $6 billion in cash and an undefeated record in high-stakes deals. BigBang requested a loan of $3 billion to execute his plan to capture the crime boss. Shin immediately agreed. Meanwhile, Kim Myung launched her own plan. She contacted Park Jae-geun, requesting a direct meeting. As anticipated, President Jin wanted to meet the money laundering expert, BigBang, and demanded that he come alone. BigBang and Park Jae-geun quickly booked a high-speed train to the Philippines, turning it into an impromptu vacation. Upon arrival, Park Jae-geun met with Kim Myung, who proposed a collaboration. Her goal was to seize $6 billion from President Jin. She promised to hand over the ledger and a 10% commission if BigBang agreed to assist. BigBang arrived at the meeting point with President Jin. However, before he could even sit down comfortably, the location was changed. As he entered a narrow alley, he was immediately blindfolded and dragged away like a hostage being led to execution by terrorists. BigBang was taken to an abandoned house where President Jin began boasting about his undeniable superiority. He revealed that he had hidden bonds worth $1 billion in a safe atop a church. The process of laundering those bonds into $1 billion had already been completed and deposited into an account named Green Manila. Now, all President Jin needed was to transfer his $2 billion, along with an additional $3 billion from Mrs. Shin. To finalize the plan, BigBang was assigned as the middleman until the Philippine government transferred the funds, ensuring the operation would proceed smoothly. At this point, Kim Myung requested a meeting with Park Jae-geun, promising to ensure the successful hacking of President Jin's account, as long as it was within his capabilities. However, human greed knows no bounds. Once the money was transferred, and while Kim Myung had just stepped out of the car, Park Jae-geun immediately hacked into President Jin's account from within the vehicle. Realizing he had been betrayed, President Jin called a ruthless assassin to eliminate Park Jae-geun. Such is the power of money. It turned out he had already known everything, including the photos of BigBang and Park Jae-geun meeting Mrs. Shin to borrow money. All of this was a trap President Jin had orchestrated to steal the $3 billion. President Jin demanded that BigBang transfer all the funds into his account or else Park Jae-geun would face a grim fate. Left with no other choice, BigBang reluctantly complied, transferring the enormous sum into another account. President Jin began to laugh triumphantly, confident that he had won this battle of wits. With such an astronomical amount of money, he boasted, even 10 generations of his family could never spend it all, no matter how extravagantly they lived. As he stepped outside to confront Park Jae-geun, President Jin raised his voice, questioning why Park kept switching sides, especially since working for him meant never having to worry about money. But Park Jae-geun just smirked, saying it was because BigBang was more handsome than him. The support team had already approached and was waiting for the command. Just as President Jin was about to get into a car to escape with the money, BigBang unhesitatingly said, "You thought we came here unprepared?" It turned out that both BigBang and Park Jae-geun already knew President Jin had someone secretly tracking them. Park Jae-geun needed only 5 minutes to hack into President Jin's computer, and once he unlocked the account password, everything would be over. President Jin, bewildered, opened his computer to see the money disappearing as fast as an X turning their back on you. Furious, he was about to make a move, but BigBang immediately ordered the support team to attack. Both sides drew their weapons and started shooting chaotically, with everyone firing at anything that moved. Quick as lightning, BigBang grabbed a gun and took down one of the henchmen. He then saw President Jin dragging Park Jae-geun to escape. BigBang seized a gun and immediately gave chase, running into an alley lined with slum houses. There, President Jin's henchmen ambushed BigBang with relentless gunfire. One of them advanced to reload, thinking they had the upper hand, but BigBang shot him down with precision. The henchman died on the spot. Meanwhile, President Jin had forced Park Jae-geun into a car to flee. He aimed a gun at Park Jae-geun's head but hesitated to pull the trigger because Park Jae-geun was the only one who could retrieve all the money. Not far into the escape, BigBang was right on their tail, dragging aggressively to ram their car into an alley. As BigBang tried to overtake, another henchman struck his car, forcing him off the road. It was now a battle of who had the stronger vehicle. The two cars continued chasing each other like a cat and mouse on the streets. President Jin played dirty, pulling out a gun to shoot, but he missed. Suddenly, Park Jae-geun regained consciousness, kicking the gun away, causing a bullet to strike one of the henchmen in the head. Seizing the opportunity, BigBang floored the gas pedal, cutting off President Jin's car. The two vehicles collided with a roadside guardrail. Dazed, President Jin grabbed a ledger and started to flee on foot, not even looking back. Luckily, BigBang wasn't seriously injured and immediately pulled Park Jae-geun out of the car. The vehicle, leaking fuel and sparking, burst into flames just as they escaped. President Jin, limping, made his way to a bridge, only to be stopped by the police. Attempting to turn back, he came face to face with his nemesis, cornered with no way out and no one to help him. President Jin's game was over. Everyone's efforts had finally paid off. The multi-level marketing Kingpin, who wanted to gain without working, had been caught. Let this be a reminder to work with your own abilities, whether it's physical labor or intellectual effort. Everyone is striving every day, tirelessly working for a warm and happy family, for a prosperous and thriving nation. You and I will continue to work hard together. That's the end of today's story. Thank you for watching.